The storm hit Nathan Hale's life long before the billionaire ever walked into the room. It began the moment he stood in the hospital hallway 3 years earlier, clutching his newborn daughter, Lily, as nurses whispered condolences he barely heard. Grief carved hollow spaces in him, spaces he tried to fill with extra shifts, late-night work, and quiet promises whispered to a sleeping baby. So when the billionaire owner of the company, Alexander Reed, stepped into the headquarters that morning, tall, sharp, powerful, and known for firing people without blinking, Nathan had no idea his entire destiny was about to twist in a way he never imagined, and the twist began with 2 words: "You're fired." Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of humanity, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. The words echoed through Nathan's body like a blow. He'd spent nearly a decade at Reed Enterprises doing everything right, showing up early, staying late, carrying burdens no one knew about. He worked in a small maintenance office tucked behind the grand lobby, the kind where wealthy executives rarely went. He wasn't important in the eyes of the world, but the paycheck kept Lily's medication paid for, kept their tiny apartment warm, and kept his heart fighting even when exhaustion made his bones feel twice their age. That morning, Nathan was patching a leaking pipe behind the executive wing when Alexander Reed himself walked through the hallway, unexpectedly early. Rumors said he was ruthless. Rumors said he didn't tolerate mistakes. Rumors said he'd built his empire by breaking anything, and anyone, that stood in the way of perfection. Nathan didn't think those rumors would ever matter to him personally, until he slipped on the wet floor, dropped a wrench, and accidentally splashed water across the billionaire's expensive suit. Silence swallowed the hallway. Alexander's eyes narrowed, cold as steel. Nathan scrambled to apologize, hands shaking, cheeks burning. But the billionaire lifted his hand to stop him. No emotion. No softness. Just a flat, brutal sentence: "You're fired." Then he turned away. Nathan stood there for a long moment, the dripping pipe echoing above him, drowning out the sound of his heartbeat. He gathered his tools slowly, trying not to let the panic swallow him whole. Losing his job meant losing everything. It meant he wouldn't afford Lily's next treatment. It meant late notices. It meant fear tightening around his throat like a noose that he went home that night unable to hide the heaviness in his body. Their apartment was small but warm, filled with Lily's drawings taped to the fridge and her tiny socks scattered everywhere. She ran to him with her usual laughter, but Nathan could barely kneel to hug her. As he held her, tears slipped down without his permission. He buried his face in her hair, whispering promises he wasn't sure he could keep, but life doesn't pause for heartbreak. The next days were a blur of job applications, rejected calls, and rising dread. Nathan sold his old tools, skipped meals so his daughter wouldn't, and kept pretending everything was okay for her sake. He walked miles instead of buying bus fare and ignored the stress headaches that pulsed behind his eyes. Meanwhile, Lily kept asking, "Daddy, why are you sad?" And he kept answering, "I'm not, sweetheart. Daddy's just tired." A week later, a black car pulled up outside Nathan's building. The door opened, and Alexander Reed stepped out. Nathan froze. The billionaire looked different this time, still intimidating, still polished, but not cold. There was something in his expression Nathan had never expected to see: hesitation. Alexander asked if they could talk. Nathan didn't want to. He didn't want pity or apologies too late to help. But Lily peeked from behind his leg, and Alexander's eyes softened instantly. It was subtle, but real. They walked inside. Alexander saw the peeling wallpaper, the second-hand furniture, and the pill bottles lying neatly on the counter. He seemed to take in everything without judgment, only a slow, quiet understanding. Then he said something Nathan would never forget: "I fired you, to test something. And now I know the truth." Nathan didn't understand. Alexander explained that he'd been searching for people in his company who embodied loyalty, resilience, and genuine heart. He had inherited the business from a father who valued power more than people, and Alexander wanted to change that. He'd seen Nathan's work ethic from afar. He'd read reports about Nathan volunteering to help coworkers beyond his job description. He knew about the extra hours, the dedication, the humility. He'd wanted to see whether Nathan's character held steady under pressure, and it had. Nathan felt anger rise. Testing a single dad on the edge of survival felt cruel. But then Alexander reached into his coat and placed a folder on the table. Inside was not just an offer letter, but a life-changing proposal, a promotion, a six-figure salary, full medical coverage for Lily, and a lead position in a new employee well-being department Alexander was creating. A department he wanted Nathan to help design, because he believed Nathan understood humanity in a way most leaders never would. Nathan couldn't speak. The weight of the past week collapsed inside him, replaced by the overwhelming light of hope. Alexander then apologized, with sincerity that broke the last of Nathan's resistance. He said he wanted to build a company based on compassion, fairness, and real opportunity. And he wanted Nathan not just as an employee, but as one of the guiding voices shaping this new direction. For a moment, the room was silent except for Lily humming softly as she colored on the floor. Nathan took the job. Months passed, and everything changed. Nathan and Lily moved into a safer home. Her treatments became consistent. Nathan began helping hundreds of employees find support, balance, and dignity within a workplace that had once ignored them. And Alexander Reed transformed from a feared billionaire into a leader driven by a genuine desire to make lives better. Their unlikely bond grew, two men from different worlds connected by the desire to rebuild something broken. And one evening, as Nathan tucked Lily into bed, she whispered, "Daddy, you smile more now." And Nathan realized she was right. Hope had returned. Life had softened. The future no longer felt like a battle he had to fight alone. If this story touched your heart or reminded you that kindness still exists in this world, please take a moment to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. It truly helps more than you know. Please comment your thoughts below. Before the ending of the video, in the quiet glow of the night, Nathan stood by the window, watching city lights shimmer like distant promises. For the first time in years, he felt a deep, unshakable peace. A single act of compassion, hidden beneath a harsh test, had saved not just his job, but his future, his hope, and the world of a little girl who deserved the best life could offer.